And we are live. Hi, this is Ren.
This is Casey.
And this is All Walks of Film. So, MoviePass. Once again, we are talking. Once again, we are talking about MoviePass. And the reason why we're talking about it so much is because I've been a very strong advocate for MoviePass. I got you to join up. I got tons of people to join up. I mean, I used to tell people all the time, I don't work for MoviePass. It's just a really good deal. And quite frankly, for the amount of money that I've saved over the past year, I'm still not going to get mad at it for that time. But, you know, right now, I'm just really frustrated with the service because it's not living up to its promise. And it's slowly allowing other companies to sneak in and, you know, essentially offer better services.
But also right now it's in a position where on a day-to-day basis, we don't know what kind of service to expect. We don't know if it's going to function. We don't know if it's going to change. We don't know if it's going to be wiped off the face of the earth.
Yeah, essentially. And it's really nerve-wracking as a customer investing in something like that. A ton of people have canceled, and a ton of people are having difficulty canceling.
Yeah, because it's so dysfunctional you can't even exit out in some cases. That's not a pretty look. That's not cute.
Yeah, so essentially the service has been offering for $9.95 a month. You can watch one movie a day at any theater, any day. No blackout dates. And just this past Thursday, all of that changed. They were like, yeah, you wanted to watch Mission Impossible Fallout? Oops. Well, we just totally screwed up, and now we have to borrow $5 million. Oh, wait, and we got to borrow $6 million more, leading it to a total of $10 million, which for a big business is not that much in terms of borrowing.
But for them, when they still haven't made any profit whatsoever, it caused them to turn around and create surge pricing, which meant that everybody, regardless of the showtime, was paying $6 to $8 extra for their movie ticket, which in some cases cost more than the actual movie ticket, and in many, many, many cases was so that they could watch a movie in an empty theater, or an almost empty theater. And also caused a lot of people to cancel and to not go to the movies, including us.
Yeah, it's really frustrating.
It's ugly.
So, MoviePass, after getting a lot of flack for a lot of stuff, has decided to release a press release. Now, this is coming from their subsidiary, Helios and Matheson Analytics. This is who essentially owns MoviePass. Just today, they posted, MoviePass, we're still standing.
Yeah, sure you are. Sure, you're standing. Yep, proud and tall. Totally, we all buy it. Thank you.
To paraphrase Mark Twain, talk of our demise is greatly exaggerated. When your stocks go from $13, when your stocks go from $37 to $13 to what is it now? 13 cents or something? 7 cents?
I don't understand any of those things.
Fair enough. But that being said, their stocks are going down the tube right now, and it's really bad. New York, August 2nd, 2018. If you're listening to this later, that's the day that we're recording. MoviePass, the nation's premier movie theater subscription service and a majority-owned subsidiary of Helios and Matheson Analytics Incorporated, NASDAQ HMNY, Helios today pushed back on comments by some in the theater industry who have predicted, and in some cases declared, its passing.
You mean by some people in the theater industry, all of the people who paid for your service? Is that who you mean by people in the theater industry? Like, technically, they are inside of the theater industry by going to your movies.
That's a pretty fair assessment. Exhibitors know that without MoviePass, they will be able to continue to charge exorbitant prices for theater tickets and gouge customers with overpriced concessions. This is exactly the attitude the taxicab industry took when Uber entered their market.
It doesn't make any sense because with MoviePass, MoviePass credits you with like $12 and some change. If your movie ticket costs more than that, you have to pay the difference. So it doesn't realistically matter what it is that movie theaters charge, and it's not as though movie theaters were trying to bring down their ticket prices because of MoviePass. Like, that never happened.
From my understanding, some theaters in like major cities like New York and San Francisco actually have ticket prices that are like $16. So MoviePass was actually covering the $16 for a ticket there.
That doesn't make any sense with the way the MoviePass functions.
Yeah, from my understanding, MoviePass only covered $12.
It was like $12 and some change. It was like $12.50 or $12.63 or something weird like that.
And then if the ticket costs more than that, you'd have to pay the difference, which I was totally fine with that. You know, that's not a huge deal. That wasn't surge pricing. That was actually something completely different.
Because it was like 96 cents. Ooh, wow.
Yeah, and we weren't paying MoviePass for that. We were paying the theater for that.
Yeah, it was fine.
Yeah. Furthermore, any crowding about the uptick in box office receipts this summer should include the fact that a significant percentage of that total is directly attributable to MoviePass subscribers. I don't know how accurate that is. I do know that there are a lot of MoviePass subscribers, but like whether or not it's the bulk of moviegoers, I don't really think so, because usually when we go to the movies, we see about like 2 or 3 MoviePass people. We're not seeing like, a majority of MoviePass.
What does that mean, the uptick in box office receipts? Like the fact that there's been an uptick in people going to the movie theater?
Yes.
Okay, I thought that meant like movie theater tickets have gotten more expensive. Okay. No, I mean, there are a fair amount of people who use MoviePass. It's hard to tell because nowadays the movie theaters don't really make as big of a fuss when you use MoviePass, and most of the time you don't have to be like, hey, I'm using MoviePass, is that okay? Usually you can just swipe and go and it's fine, and it's just like any other credit card transaction. So they're a little bit more difficult to spot, for sure, but I know like a surprising amount of people who use MoviePass, and I've noticed a handful, like it seems like anytime we go, there's at least a handful, which means there's consistently a handful. Because we go a lot. So if we are always seeing a lot of, like, at least, if we're standing in line behind 10 people, at least 4 of those people generally have MoviePass. I mean, that's an example based on a recent experience, but, like, if you can count on something along those lines, I would say it's fair to say that MoviePass has a bulk of has to do with the upsurge, especially because we've been seeing we've been seeing fewer and fewer people go to the movie theaters all the time because it's too expensive, it's not a very good deal, there's no quality reassurance, blah blah blah. But there has been an uptick in people going. Like, we were at like record national lows from like the past several decades, and now there has been a minor uptick. It's not a lot, but it's something And it kind of, vaguely off the top of my head, seems like it would match the correlation between the uptake of people who are joining MoviePass.
Yeah, and especially on sort of the days that we go, which is like during the weekend. I mean, sorry, during the week.
Yeah.
When it's usually not as busy, and seeing it at times, sometimes when we can, earlier than other people would see movies like 7 o'clock and stuff like that.
This also makes the fact that nobody saw Han Solo even more sad and pathetic.
Yeah. Yeah. Which
and that was not one that was blacked out by MoviePass. This was before all that. There's no reason why people weren't seeing the Solo movie except for the fact that it looked like garbage, and it was garbage.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, we both saw the Solo movie with MoviePass. And,
anyone could have done it, but why would you want to?
Right. And I know that there are a lot of people that, are switching to like streaming services and all that kind of stuff. So like pulling people to the actual movie theater takes work, and MoviePass was actually doing that. And also, I know a ton of people that, because they had MoviePass, for the first time ever, they were actually buying concessions, providing the theater with more money than what they regularly would have spent.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think a lot of theaters aren't recognizing that enough. And
how much they get out of the people using MoviePass. Because
I do think that if MoviePass's services do actually change next month. Now, this speculation about how it's going to change to $14.95 next month, and the service is going to change. That's still not set in stone, because MoviePass has done this before and backed out on it. I think this is a terrible business plan for them and could cost them dearly. It already has, because a lot of people are dropping out. And, I understand that they're trying to do that to like scare some people, because like right now they're hurting as far as money goes. But it's just so weird. And, I'll be the first one to say, I don't know how their business model works. Because I originally thought that, they would use the data of its viewers to try and present demographics
to movie studios.
And honestly, depending on so long as it's voluntary, and so long as like you're just putting like age, race, that kind of thing, I think that's okay. I really do, because that tells theaters and studios what demographics are actually seeing in movies, and that would help a lot better than general demographics that that gets into
well, especially because we're in an age where entertainment is benefiting from niche marketing. The more information you have to be able to better target a target audience, not only is the more financially successful that particular medium gonna be, it also leaves a lot more creative ability for the content creators, because they're not gonna have to be beholden to this idea of like, well, you can't just target to your certain audience, you have to be appropriate and liked by everyone. We're getting past that concept in terms of content creation, and if you could gather demographic information and sell that back to studios, that would give them more flexibility to create the content they want to create, because they would be better able to market it directly to the people they want to market it towards.
Yeah.
Primarily on platforms like YouTube. Because YouTube, you can market for pretty cheap, considering, and you can market more directly to your audience because you have a better idea of what their tastes are, what they like, as opposed to like, not that you wouldn't, but you wouldn't have to spend as much money, say, taking out advertisements for billboard posters or ads on TV. And that could be especially beneficial for smaller distribution companies and more independent film projects, which makes sense because that's what MoviePass was helping promote. So, and it does seem like somebody brought this up on Twitter, and I feel really bad. I don't know who it is or have the tweet in front of me, but somebody specifically brought up, like, hey, MoviePass, why don't you get people to sell you ads that you can put on your app? Like, I have to watch ads all the time. I don't care. I'll watch your 15, 30-second ad to be able to use MoviePass the same way I use it now. And yes, that's totally a good point, and I don't disagree with that. But isn't that what they were already doing? Like, you open your app and you get ads for movies, and you get emails from MoviePass promoting movies. Isn't that where some of their money is coming from? Do they not benefit from being a place for advertisements?
Well,
don't they make money from distribution companies to promote their films on MoviePass, which then the audience will use MoviePass to go see the movie? How financially does that work?
To my understanding, and I could totally be wrong about this, but I think MoviePass started when, Facebook was making money the way that it's now illegal to make money on Facebook, which is selling metadata. And it is possible that, if you subscribed to MoviePass, that, at a certain point in time, I don't think they're allowed to now, and there might be a class action lawsuit if something gets, released or something like that. But I think at a certain point in time, that's what they were banking on, at like some point. So metadata, so like, oh, you see this one movie, here's an advertisement specifically designed for you of something related to the movie, something, a product that is mentioned in the movie. Product placement's like a big thing. Something like that.
I feel like that's still less creepy than Facebook, for one, but also you don't have to necessarily sell products or like products based on the movies people watch. You could just advertise the movie and get the distribution companies to pay you a little bit of money to have ads on the MoviePass. Well, like, I don't understand how, like, are they not getting any financial backing through all the movies that they've been promoting? Because they promote. Like, they're always promoting a film. They're always promoting a film. And yes, so far they haven't been big studio movies, although I don't understand why they couldn't do that. I'm sure that, like, whatever the company is that does it, I can't think off the top of my head. Let's just say, for example, the DCE. Let's just say, for example, Warner Brothers wants to promote their new stupid, dumb piece of crap, life-ruining franchise film. Yes, Warner Brothers ruined lives and livelihoods. Like, no, fuck Warner Brothers. But let's say Warner Brothers wants to promote their new movie. Why couldn't they pay MoviePass, like, whatever stupid amount of money they put into advertisement nowadays, because they put a stupid amount of money into advertisement nowadays. Let's say $1 million. I mean, I know they just took out a loan for $5 million, but let's just make believe. $1 million, promote Aquaman on your MoviePass app. So every time people open MoviePass, they see stupid Aquaman and his cover girl-like features and everything like that directly on their MoviePass. And, they'll get an email saying, hey, come to the theaters and swim with the fishes. Come see Aquaman, which they're already doing. They do that for 8th grade. They did that for 3 Identical Strangers. They did that with American Animal. They did that with Red Sparrow. I think they did that with You Were Never Really Here. They did that with Flower. Like, they do it with a lot of small independent projects that I'm sure have much smaller advertising budgets. Why can't they go to big studios and be like, hey, Jurassic World 2 is coming out soon. You want us to put a big dinosaur banner on our app? I know it just came out, but I'm saying they could have done that. They were doing that with American Animal at the time.
Yeah.
Or
from my understanding, like, the only company that they're really doing that with is Neon, which is which they're a part of to a certain extent.
They do it with more than Neon, but it does seem like every Neon movie gets included.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised they don't have that with A24, actually.
Yeah, that is.
Like, I don't think they promote any of the A24 movies.
They have.
Was it only 8th grade? Like.
No, they promoted 8th grade, and they also promoted First Reformed. Because I did see a promotion for First Reformed.
Okay, I was just thinking, I don't think that they did Hereditary for some reason, which is
no,
weird.
they totally promoted Hereditary.
Oh, so they totally do A24. Okay.
Yeah.
So they totally do A24 movies.
And they were recently promoting Blind Spotting, which, funny enough,
you couldn't see with their stupid app.
Yeah, then we had to like wind up paying for it on Monday.
Which, I mean, it deserves. It's a fucking amazing movie, and everyone needs to watch it. Oh, by the way. Quick shout out. Try to watch Sorry to Bother You this weekend. If you haven't seen it yet, or if you wanted to see it again, go see it this weekend. Because it might not be in theaters next week. Boots Riley made a great post. I appreciate the fact that he's not like too arrogant to just post shit on Facebook about how to help his movies. He said, going weekend to weekend to weekend, how well the movie does determines every single weekend whether it's going to be extended to the next weekend. And right now, it looks like it's not going to be extended to next weekend, which is really sad. Everyone should see this movie, go watch this movie, and then go watch Blind Spotting. Because, holy shit. Even if you have to pay for them, they deserve your money. Give very good content creators and contemporary artists your money to support them so they can keep making good stuff. Do it.
Yeah, or try to use the MoviePass app.
If it works.
Yeah. All right. Furthermore, any crowing about an uptick in box office receipts this summer season should include the fact that a significant percentage of that total is directly attributable to MoviePass subscribers. Here's just a sample. MoviePass contributed nearly 1/4 of the domestic box office receipts for Lionsgate's Blind Spotting through the first Tuesday after its release. Funny enough, we just talked about it. We weren't able to see Blind Spotting. And there were a lot of people who actually weren't able to see Blind Spotting on the MoviePass app. So it could have made even more money if your app frickin' worked.
Yep.
MoviePass ticket purchases represented nearly 17% of Thursday night previews for Paramount's Book Club.
I'm sorry, it's just... Oh, that does say a lot, though, because, like, Book Club was never gonna... Book Club literally was not built to do well in theaters. And the fact that it was nearly 20% more successful because of MoviePass is not a small thing. The movie literally was not built to be marketed for people to buy a $12 ticket and see it in a movie theater. That is not the function for Book Club. And the fact that they were able to make any extra money, much less almost 20% more, that's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
I legitimately don't understand why studios aren't paying MoviePass at this point.
Yeah, well, especially
MoviePass
studios
is
for like
seats.
Studios for smaller films. Especially that because that.
Well, that's probably why they do work with smaller films.
Yeah, because people with MoviePass are willing to take the risk. Before all this stuff going on and stuff, but like. People were willing to take the risk in watching films that they might not necessarily think they'd like.
But they weren't willing to watch all the movies.
Yeah, I know some people, they say like, "Oh, my life's too busy. I've only seen 2 movies this year." I know somebody who's only seen Infinity War and Solo. I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about people with a little bit more time on their hands that just. They don't know it's in theaters or, they're not like incredibly informed, but like they see, oh, this looks cool. But, I don't know because like, is it going to be worth my money? And with MoviePass, you don't really have that issue. And, you know, I think what's also great about it, like when the service was working, is I guarantee you there were a lot less walkouts in movies with people who had MoviePass than, you know, beforehand, because, you know, you
because you didn't need to go get your money back, which is the point of walking out of a movie.
Yeah, you know, I mean, part of it is your time and all that kind of stuff. But, like, you know, for the biggest thing, it's your money.
The biggest thing is your money, because if you sit down and you watch a whole movie, you can't get your money back.
Yeah, I think after like the cake scene in A Ghost Story, I would have left.
The pie eating scene?
Yeah.
Because literally the cake scene in Under the Skin is when I actually did walk out of the theater and seriously contemplate whether or not I actually wanted to go back in. And by the time I decided that I did, she was still eating that stupid cake. Oh my God. That movie was so painful. I'm sorry. That's the only movie I've actually almost walked out of. I did walk out. I literally walked out. I just walked back in.
Just a PSA for any up-and-coming filmmakers. Please, no more long and extended scenes of people eating dessert.
Well, it's very specifically women eating desserts, contemplating the meaning of their existence, and then vomiting it up. It's like very specifically, that's the mark of a terrible movie. In my opinion. That's the mark of like the 2 worst movies I've seen in the past decade. Yeah, I'll stand by that.
For Warner Brothers Tag, which MoviePass promoted in its purchases.
Oh, Warner Brothers, see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Represented 13% of the film's opening weekend domestic box office totals.
That is nothing to sniff at, especially considering how badly big budget Warner Brothers movies do.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine Batman v Superman with its 75% drop-off rate between opening weekend Friday and opening weekend Sunday. A 75% drop-off. Imagine how much less that drop-off would have been if MoviePass was really prominent at the time.
Yeah. I know I didn't have MoviePass at that time.
I didn't have MoviePass at that time either.
I worked at the movie theaters, so
I got in for free.
Yeah,
which is why you saw it twice. But do you know how much I literally did not want to pay to see that movie? Like, you practically dragged me kicking and screaming and crying to see that stupid piece of crap movie.
Because I was like, you gotta see how bad it is.
I know, but I was like, but it's gonna be so bad. For everybody who doesn't have somebody to drag them into that movie, they're not spending the money to see that movie. So imagine if 13%, a 13% increase from 75%, that's still 62?
88%? You said 75, 13%.
13% less.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's 62%. Yeah.
Right.
So the drop-off would have only been 62%. That still would have been really pathetic and sad and abysmal, but that's still significantly better.
Yeah, I mean, like, the August month is, like, the worst month for summer blockbusters. I mean, because everybody's, like, getting ready to go back to school. Some people do actually start school.
It's a big part of the reason why Kubo did very poorly last year. Or 2 years ago, my bad.
Yeah, the August time is just sort of a bad time to release movies. It's not to say that movies aren't successful in August, but they're not as successful in August. And, I'm curious if this change is being made to kind of show these theaters and these companies like, oh, look at how, at the cost of its customers, oh, look at how much your business is hurting this month.
Imagine if MoviePass didn't exist anymore. What's going to happen to your movies come August? What's going to happen to Aquaman and Shazam? Like,
yeah. Yeah,
Actually, oh, no, never mind. I was going to say, yeah, actually, that makes sense that Wonder Woman did so well because people had MoviePass, but that doesn't really make sense because Justice League came out after Wonder Woman, and Justice League still did abysmally, financially speaking.
Yeah. So on our last, on my last podcast that I did, the one that I did by myself, somebody did make the comment: if MoviePass dies, pirating returns stronger than ever. Hollywood will learn to bend to Netflix-style pricing, or theaters will die out. I don't think theaters are going to die out outright, but I do think that a lot of theaters are going to feel the pain, especially like smaller independent theaters, because those theaters have actually had the most success with MoviePass, especially like cinema grills and stuff like that, because then people are, actually paying for the food and, going to see the movie more because they can afford it. And let's face it, movies, as opposed to stuff like the theater and sports games, are something for more broad, more general audiences. Granted, I understand if people have large families, MoviePass doesn't really have something that can accommodate that.
Well, they were talking about doing a family plan, but that was just a concept, and that was before all this other nonsense went kaplooey. So, is that even still being talked about anymore in a realistic fashion? Probably not.
Yeah, and onto the comment of piracy. Yeah, like piracy has like always been like a thing. Even before I knew that piracy actually was a thing, like there were people like ripping off of like movies back when like they were on film.
Well, and also, piracy doesn't mean that a movie is going to do badly necessarily, or movie or a TV show. Game of Thrones, one of the most successful television programs in history, is the most pirated television program in history, and the piracy kind of only benefited it because people tried it out, realized they liked it, bought it on DVD, people pirated it, realized they liked it, bought a bunch of merchandise, which went directly back to HBO. Like, it's still super fucking profitable. And it doesn't really matter how shitty Game of Thrones gets. Like, the only reason they're wrapping up now is because they can't keep the actors on any longer because they treat them like crap. But financially speaking, they're fine. Like, they're doing fantastically, even though they're pirated more than everyone else.
Yeah, and when it comes to like movies in the theater, man, like I remember seeing like a friend would have like an old bootleg, and man, the quality of those were so bad. I was like, why would you even watch this? Like, seriously, like I'd rather watch something that's like 3 years old or, even older than, watch this brand new movie that I can't even see half the stuff that's going on. But that was me. But going back to the whole thing about piracy, yeah, I do think it's going to, hit pretty hard over the next couple months, especially with the more risky movies. Like, people are like, oh, well, since I don't have MoviePass, what? I kind of want to see this movie, but I don't want to pay like $12 to see the movie, so I'm just going to bootleg it.
I mean, really, piracy only hurts smaller movies, and very badly. And yeah, those smaller movies really do depend on things like MoviePass.
Yeah. MoviePass ticket purchases accounted for about 12% of the entire theatrical run for Magnolia Pictures' runaway documentary hit, RGB, which is like one of the biggest documentaries this year.
It's one of the biggest. It's also one of the most financially successful. Really, I'm not sure if this is entirely right, but I want to say that like the two most financially successful documentary films both came out this year. RGB and Won't You Be My Neighbor. That might not be true, but I recall an article that was saying that like 4 documentaries, they're insane blockbuster smash hits.
Yeah, and Three Identical Strangers, which MoviePass promoted, I saw because of MoviePass, and was actually really successful.
Yeah, and keep in mind, for a documentary to be financially successful is a much different story than for a blockbuster hit or a more fictional narrative film made with a movie studio.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why there's so many docs on Netflix right now.
Because they're fairly cheap to make and they're fairly cheap to purchase because since they're cheaper to make, you can charge less and make more profit.
Yeah. Overall, we believe as much as 6% of the industry's total box office receipts can be traced to our loyal subscribers. It's clear that because of MoviePass, more people are seeing more movies at fair prices. Instead of wishing us away, the industry, particularly the independent film producers, should be congratulating and supporting us.
Do they not? What about all the independent film production companies that have their work advertised on MoviePass? Are they not aware that they're... What?
A lot of studios have been rooting for MoviePass to fail, have been speaking openly about MoviePass.
Well, I know a lot of movie theaters, but like, what movie studios?
Some of the bigger ones.
Like whom?
I don't know offhand.
Well, they should. I'm very confused.
Yeah, I don't know. Absent MoviePass, exhibitors are fighting to preserve profits in a declining box office environment. That's the doom strategy. Yes, we're going through a rough patch, unlike what other distributive enterprises experienced in their early days. But this isn't really your early days. I mean, you've been around for a little while. I mean, you did drop your price.
I think it's at least 6 years they've been around.
Yeah, I mean, they dropped their price like last year to like pull in more subscribers, but much of our issues can be attributed to the unprecedented growth in a business that just 12 months ago did not exist, which isn't necessarily true because, you know, I've seen people that were signed on to MoviePass since, what was it? The Hangover 3, which came out like, what, in 2012, 13? I've heard about MoviePass. I know it was like $50 before for a month, which, depending on like how avid of a viewer you are, that's still a good deal. But like back then, they didn't have like the restrictions and all that kind of stuff, so you could see a movie, you know, a movie that you liked and multiple times and not have an issue. But you know that plan changed. About Helios and Matheson analytics, which is something I'm really interested in, so this will be important to me. Helios and Matheson Analytics Incorporated is a provider of information technology services and solutions, offering a range of technology platforms focusing on big data, artificial intelligence, business intelligence, social listening, and consumer-centric technology.
So that's literally exactly what we've been saying this entire time. Big data, social listening, consumer-centric technology, that's literally exactly what we've been talking about this whole time.
Helios currently owns approximately 92% of the outstanding shares, excluding options and warrants, of MoviePass Incorporated, the nation's premier movie theater subscription service. Helios holdings include Red Zone Map, a safety and navigation app for iOS and Android users, and a community-based ecosystem that features a socially empowered safety map that enhances mobile GPS navigation using advanced proprietary technology. Helios is headquartered in New York, and is listed in the NASDAQ Capital Market under the symbol HMNY. For more information, visit us at our website. About MoviePass Incorporated. MoviePass Incorporated, MoviePass, is a marketing technology platform enhancing the exploration of film and its moviegoing experience. As the nation's premier movie theater subscription service, MoviePass provides film enthusiasts the ability to select new movies in theaters. The service, now accepted at more than 91% of theaters across the United States, is the nation's largest theater network. Visit us at our website. Cautionary statement on forward-looking information. Certain statements in this communication contain forward-looking statements within the meaning of the Private Securities Litigation Reform Act of 1995 under Section 27A of the Securities Act of 1933 as amended, and Section 21E of the Securities Exchange Act of 1934 as amended, collectively forward-looking statements that may not be based on historical fact, but instead relate to future events, including without limitation, statements containing the words believe, may, plan, will, estimate, continue, anticipate, intend, expect, and similar expressions. All statements other than statements of historical fact, including in this communication, are forward-looking statements. Such forward-looking statements are based on a number of assumptions. Although Helios management believes that the assumptions made and expectations represented by such statements are reasonable, there can be no assurance that a forward-looking statement contained herein will prove to be accurate. Actual results and development, including those without limitation, the ability of MoviePass to benefit from its acquisition and integration of MoviePhone.com and create immense value with film partners, may differ significantly from those expressed or implied by the forward-looking statements contained herein, and even if such actual results and developments were realized or substantially realized, there can be no assurance that they will have the expected consequences or effects. Risk factors and other material information concerning Helios and MoviePass are described in Helios's annual report on Form 10-K for the fiscal year ended in December 31st, 2017. Its quarterly report on Form 10-Q for the quarter ended March 31st, 2018, and other filings including subsequent, current, and periodic reports, information statements, and registration statements filed with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission. You are cautioned to review such reports and other filings at www.sec.gov. Given these risks, uncertainties, and factors, you are cautioned not to place undue reliance on such forward-looking statements and information which are qualified for in their entirety by this cautionary statement. All forward-looking statements and information made herein are based on Helios's current expectations, and Helios does not undertake an obligation or revise or update such forward-looking statements and information to reflect subsequent events or circumstances, except as required by law. So that was a mouthful at the end.
Lots of legal mumbo jumbo. Hey, we're not contractually obligated to anything that we're saying here.
Yeah, which doesn't say great things about their company. You know, I totally understand it, but yeah. So I am really looking forward to getting to the point where like MoviePass like comes back to like what it was, and I'm still holding hope for that. You know, I'm not like many people ready to quit just now, but this is close to the last straw for me, because if I can't get at least the amount that I'm paying for each month to see a movie.
Which so far we haven't.
Yeah, so far we haven't. You know, it could wind up not being worth it, which is really sad for me to say. And, you know, I might look into actually getting the AMC service or whatever the Alamo service is, or just looking at what options there are. AMC Stubs List, AMC A-List, I forget what it's called, offers 3 movies a week, which is not as great as MoviePass, but like given how much I'm able to see a week, it does seem a lot better. So I've been following this Twitter hashtag. It's been pretty funny. It's called MoviePass fail, and people have been pretty brutal on there. You know, people bringing up the fact that they can't make a reservation. Try again later. You can use MoviePass in an e-ticketing theater. Yeah, that's exactly the problem that I have with Blind Spotting. It gave me that exact message. It's just really frustrating because this is a service that I've really wanted to support, and when it's not working how they promised to work, if you look at their old ad, this is an ad that they clearly can't put on now, but there was an old ad that MoviePass had, which was any theater, any movie, any day for $9.99 per month. That's pretty simple. Now it's $14.95. We're not going to be able to see Christopher Robin this weekend, The Meg, and what was the other one?
Mission Impossible.
Yeah. Is Mission Impossible still not available this weekend? Is it 2 weeks?
Last I checked, that is still the case, and it looks like that is going to be the case moving forward.
That
for
movie
the foreseeable
is just
future.
Yeah, that movie is just not going to be available.
That movie, along with other big name titles not yet mentioned, besides Christopher Robin and The Meg.
All right, so this is coming from The Verge. MoviePass's latest survival plan: increase prices, get first-run movie access. It's pass or fail time. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to limit the amount of movies that you're allowing people to see, but if you do that along with charging people more, that's when you're going to wind up getting a lot of people to drop out, which is what's been happening. So I'm just going to read this really quick, if that's cool. July has not been a good month for MoviePass, the embattled all-you-can-watch movie ticket subscription service. The company ran out of money and shut down for a night last week. It's compensated by shutting people out of popular movies like Mission Impossible Fallout. The company has claimed lately that technical difficulties are keeping users from getting movies, though it's unclear whether this is also a behind-the-scenes gambit to limit how much of its remaining money users can spend, which I think really is what's going on right now. The MoviePass stock has plummeted, and now MoviePass has announced a slew of changes that aim to compress its timeline to reach profitability by making the service much more restrictive. According to a company press release, okay, I think there is another one. Okay. All right. I'll read this because this, I think, is a little bit more important than the article that I was talking about. I'm sorry that, I read one press release and this is another press release, so just bear with me. New York Business Wire. MoviePass, the nation's premier movie theater subscription service and a majority-owned subsidiary of Helios Matheson Analytics, NASDAQ, HMNY, we talked about this before, today announced the implementation of several new measures aimed at accelerating the plan for profitability. Through these steps, the company believes it will be able to compress its timeline to reach profitability. Approaching the 1-year anniversary of introducing its standard $9.95 price point, the MoviePass community has grown more than 3 million members and in turn has contributed to a record box office growth, responsible for approximately 6% of the nation's total box office sales for the first half of 2018. In addition, MoviePass Ventures and MoviePass Films are contributing to the company's ancillary revenue. Today, the company has implemented several elements of a long-term growth plan to protect the existing community and set up for future sustainable growth. MoviePass has implemented several new cost reduction and subscription revenue increase measures. A. Actions have been implemented are currently cutting the monthly burn by 60%. The future increase of the standard pricing plan to $14.95 per month within the next 30 days. First run movies opening on 1,000
Are they going to tell the viewers that before they just take that money out of their account?
I haven't gotten an email for it yet.
I haven't either. This is the first time I'm hearing about a price. I'm not against paying $15 a month for it, but I am going to be mad if they don't tell me they're taking $15 out of my bank account before they do it.
First run movies opening on 1,000 plus screens to be limited in their availability during the first 2 weeks, unless made available on a promotional basis.
So that's going to be a lot of movies. That's going to be a lot of movies.
Yeah, I mean, like, what movies open on less than 1,000 screens?
Even a lot of the smaller independent movies open on slightly more than 1,000 screens. I mean, they did say unless we work out a deal with them, which could be like a lot of those movies, but that's also going to be a lot of those movies that they don't. So, that doesn't sound good.
Implementation of additional tactics to prevent abuse of the MoviePass service.
I want some sort of study about how much this abuse of MoviePass services is actually occurring. Because we hear like a couple of things and I'm like, how many people did that? Like 3?
Yeah. And usually people who did that, like, you know, use their remaining money on their credit card for like popcorn, or like checked into a movie and went to a local convenience store, got a gift card, you know, et cetera, et cetera.
But but my thing is it happening infrequently enough that you could just ban users?
To my understanding, you know, if they're using a credit card, why couldn't you see like what they're actually like paying for and then just ban their service? You know, like they signed a service saying that they were going to watch movies. If they do something other than that, obviously, you know, you violated the terms of service, your service is cut. That seems pretty cut and dry to me. As of Q3 and beyond, MoviePass is also generating incremental non-subscription revenue of approximately $4 to $6 per subscriber per quarter. I'm not sure what that actually means. Okay. Integration of MoviePass Ventures and MoviePass Films with our own original content allows us to gain revenue by owning the films through box office, streaming, DVD, retail, transactional sales. For example, Apple and Samsung, and international rights, etc. Partnerships with third-party media inventory to increase scale and reach of marketing efforts driven by data. Continued rollout and refinement of peak pricing program. No.
The one thing that they should know by now is don't do that. We pay a monthly subscription service. We do not pay a pay-as-you-go service. That's called going to the movie theaters like normal. No! No revision. Nope. Just scrap it. Put it away. Nope. Bye-bye. Don't do it.
Yeah,
don't
the
do
peak
it.
pricing
Don't
is
do it. Don't
what's
do
costing
it.
your
Don't do
customers.
It.
You know,
Don't do it.
I understand, like, you know, like, for extreme examples, like, oh, freaking Star Wars is opening. Well, you know, not even the Star Wars anymore.
Not anymore.
But like, okay, Avengers Infinity War. Okay, the opening 2 days, peak pricing. Okay, that makes a little sense. You know, does it suck? Yeah, but it's not every freaking movie. Like, you know, freaking Blind Spotting on peak pricing.
Not that Blind Spotting isn't worth it, technically. I'm not saying that.
Yeah, but like Incredibles, after it's been in the theater for like 3 or 4 weeks. Yeah.
No, it's been in the theater for at least a couple months now, I think.
Yeah. Creating strategic marketing partnerships and promotions with studios, content owners, and brands. Yeah, I thought you were doing that in the first place. Integration of MoviePhone.com to support the media buys of brands and studios. Well, maybe like you should also include customer support in that, because
yeah, where's your expansion on customer support in all of this? Really? No, really, where?
In an effort to maintain the integrity of MoviePass's mission to enhance discovery and drive attendance to smaller films and bolster the independent film community, MoviePass will begin to limit ticket availability to blockbuster films.
Oh. Okay.
Which, you know, let's face it, a lot of people who use MoviePass mostly just see blockbuster films.
Oh, this hurts. No, don't do it. Don't do it. Okay, here's the problem. A lot of people are willing to pay more money for their service. I don't think anyone's going to be willing to pay more money for less service.
Yeah, especially if you're somebody who lives in an area where pretty much the only films showing are like the big blockbuster movies. So what, you're going to tell people like, oh, you can see Mamma Mia 2 and
pay an extra $6 for it. There you
go.
No.
You can see Mamma Mia 2, but like, oh, you want to see Mission Impossible? You want to see like this other stuff? No, you can't do that. And then it's like, dude, but like, I don't like musicals. Like, I didn't like the first Mamma Mia. What the hell? Like, though, from my understanding, you know somebody who wasn't able to use MoviePass with Mamma Mia. Is that correct?
They haven't been able to use MoviePass at all.
Yeah, I'm just going to name this person Kelly for right now. Yeah, I have a friend named Kelly who has been having a problem with MoviePass. I suggested that she get MoviePass, and then all this stuff happened. And I feel really bad that I recommended it, because when I used it last, when I recommended it to her, it was working fine. And I saw Jurassic World with it, a film that I might not have paid full price for. This change already begun rolling out, with Mission Impossible 6 being the first film included in the measure. This is a strategic move by the company to both limit cash burn and stay loyal to its members, to empower the smaller artistic film communities. Major studios will continue to able to partner with MoviePass to promote their first-run films, seeding them with a valuable movie-going audience. MoviePass subscribers are also more readily influenced by recommendations and more willing to make them, making them with invaluable audience to studios and distributors. The National Research Group study indicates that when we recommend films, partner with studios, or promote our own movies, we currently account for 20% to 45% of the national box office. Over the past year, we challenged an entrenched industry while maintaining the financially transparent records of a publicly traded company. We believe that the measures we begin rolling out next week will immediately reduce cash burn by 60% and will continue to generate lower funding needs in the future, said Ted Farnsworth, chairman and CEO of Helios. Yeah, by not providing your service, you're making more money. That seems to be what it sounds like, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh!
What's up?
Just MoviePass using blind spotting. See blind spotting with your MoviePass today. Fuck you. Fuck you, MoviePass. Fuck you. I did go see blind spotting despite you not giving service to... No, it just pisses me off because... Do you know how many people are going to get mad at blind spotting and not see blind spotting because you're roping it in at this precise moment? Fuck you. Don't drag a fucking good-ass movie through the mud just because you don't have your shit together. Fuck you.
These changes are meant to protect the longevity of our company and prevent abuse of the service. While no one likes change, these are essential steps to continue providing the most attractive subscription service in the industry. Really? Really? Because right now, that AMC A-list is looking a hell of a lot better than your service.
Because at least you can rely on them.
Our community has shown an immense amount of enthusiasm over the past year, and we trust that they will continue to share our vision to reinvigorate the movie industry, says Mitch Lowe, MoviePass CEO.
By the way, I do want to make a point that for the record, this post that MoviePass did promoting blind spotting, see blind spotting with our MoviePass app, it's all people bitching about how the app doesn't work and how, oh, well, I'm not going to go see blind spotting the movie you're promoting because I can't see Mission Impossible with your app. See, look at that! What did you do? What did you do?
So Kevin just said, I abuse it. I reserve one movie and cut and buy a ticket for another movie. Like I reserved a ticket for Uncle Drew and bought a ticket for Mission Impossible.
I can't blame you right now.
Yeah, I really can't blame you. Because...
But what the fuck else are you going to do?
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, that's really going to be what's going to happen. And like, then there's going to be a whole problem with like theaters like, oh, hey, we have these MoviePass people that aren't going to the movie that they said they were going to go to. Mm-hmm. And then you're going to have movies that are selling out. And then, you know, people, they're going to be, it's going to be a whole kerfuffle that didn't need to happen.
Oh, somebody said, lovely to know that they can handle posting constantly, but replying to messages is super hard.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten a message back about my blind spotting ticket.
Oh, when I sent them an email for the refund that they specifically contacted me to offer me, it took them 4 weeks to tell me that they weren't going to give me that refund.
Yeah, so according to the company's press release, MoviePass will increase its price to $14.95 a month within the next 30 days. First-run movies will only be viewable on a limited basis during the first 2 weeks of release, unless the company has a promotional deal with a given film. This is in addition to already announced plan to implement surge pricing for popular movies, which users have noted in practice has meant virtually all movies, regardless of ticket demand.
The Associated Press, by the way, put an article in the newspaper.
Okay.
It's pretty short. MoviePass increases rate, New York. MoviePass, the discount service for movie ticketing, is raising prices by 50% and barring viewings of most major releases during the first 2 weeks. The new $15 a month rate, which when you say raising 50% and you find out it's $15 is not that bad. For up to one movie each day still won't make MoviePass profitable because it typically pays theaters the full cost of the tickets, which can be $15 or more in big cities. A movie or two can put the service in the red. The old monthly rate was $10. To curtail expenses, subscribers won't be able to watch most blockbusters until the third week of release. MoviePass has proved popular with 3 million subscribers, but there are questions about whether it's sustainable.
Yeah,
And
but
that's
like
it. That's the entire
some of
article.
the smaller releases, like if you want to go see the dumb movie that you know is gonna suck, it might not be there the third week.
That's true. Especially if no one's watching it because they're waiting to watch it when MoviePass releases it.
Which is exactly what's going to happen.
It's totally what's going to happen.
MoviePass statement claims that these changes are being made to enhance discovery and drive attendance to smaller films and bolster the independent community. People are already fucking doing that. What don't you understand? The fact that you promote films and people can watch any film. So, hey, maybe... instead of watching this major blockbuster movie, which I can totally watch with MoviePass, I'm going to watch this and then watch the blockbuster some other time. Or, hey, I can watch 2 movies this weekend. I can watch this movie, and then I can watch this other movie. So, they get both. If you don't do that, you're going to get a lot of people who only want to watch the big blockbuster movies. They're all going to drop out. They're not going to be like, oh, well, I'm going to watch an independent film. They're going to be like, fuck MoviePass, I'm out.
Also, I'm just going through all of these comments specifically about the blind spotting post. They are all saying, hey, MoviePass, I literally could not watch blind spotting with MoviePass. Yeah. I literally couldn't do it because you were erasing showtimes and viewings and making it impossible. That's literally what it is. Just comment after comment after comment after comment after comment. It's just people saying, fuck you, I couldn't see blind spotting. So when blind spotting does shitty and is gone in 2 weeks,
yeah, I'm gonna blame
movies. I'm gonna blame MoviePass hardcore for that.
In a widely reported all-hands meeting at the company, MoviePass CEO Mitch Lowe cited the upcoming Christopher Robin and The Meg specifically as films that would not be available to subscribers, which I was really excited about seeing The Meg with MoviePass because that looked like a dumb, fun kaiju movie. And the fact that I can't is just, really frustrating. Oh, by the way, the stocks actually went down from $14 a share to 9 cents a share.
What?
Yeah. And it closed at $2 on Friday.
Oh my God. Wow.
That was last week, but still, that's crazy. More broadly, MoviePass hopes to make smarter decisions about potential partnerships with studios and brands in the hopes of turning a profit, though no specific details were shared at this time. Yeah, maybe because, they're going to have to change plans because so many people are fucking dropping out of their service and going, hey, AMC... you're looking pretty sweet right now. And
literally all of this would have been avoidable if you communicated with your consumers before you implemented changes.
Yeah, and here's the thing, in my area, I only have 2 AMC theaters, so that's not great for me. Whereas, with MoviePass, there's a much larger selection. Some people have more AMC theaters. Some people live in areas where there aren't AMC theaters. So that really sucks for them because they were relying on MoviePass to see films. So they don't have an alternative service except for cinema, which is kind of decent, but you only get 3 movies a month, which for some people is great, but for other people like ourselves, that's not so great. One of the cool things about the AMC thing is you can watch films in their Dolby screens, which, I really like their Dolby screens. I like the reclining chairs and all that kind of stuff. So like that's making it more attractive than your service, which MoviePass does not offer. You can't see premium screens, which I thought that's what the surging price was going to be. Like I thought it was like for premium screenings, like, oh, hey, you got to pay a surcharge to watch something in 3D or to watch it in Dolby. Like that makes sense. Not just like, oh, hey, at
to
peak
see
time.
any movie.
Yeah, exactly.
To see any movie at any time at any theater.
Right. More broadly, MoviePass hopes to make smarter decisions about potential partnerships with studios and brands in hopes of turning a profit, though no specific details were shared. I'm sorry, I just repeated that. These changes are meant to protect the longevity of our company, prevent abuse of the service. They keep on talking about abuse. I need to see what abuse is actually happening.
I want to see any sort of like number or statistic or like any sort of firm statement, because so far the abuse I've seen with MoviePass is MoviePass abusing its own services that it's promised to its customers.
Yeah, because you don't start with a slogan, any movie, any theater, any day, and then drop that slogan
repeatedly and in multiple ways. Like, anyone can make a mistake. That's fine. But they're just like, they keep finding different ways to fuck that up.
Yeah.
And if the app doesn't work every once in a while, whatever. It's still pretty much worth the cost anyway. And, I get that for startups, service, like keeping up the standard of service is more difficult. Like, I can be pretty lenient about that, but you can't just like keep changing the entire conditions of the service without communicating to your viewers what the fuck you're doing.
Yeah.
I mean, we are the paying customers.
Yeah, and the big thing that I'm curious about, because they haven't stated it yet, is whether or not people who have already subscribed to the service, though what it sounds like, people who have already subscribed to the service are going to have to pay $14.95 next month instead of their regular $9.95 a month.
But they need to.
Yeah, they need to put that in the email.
No. I need an actual statement from the company to me as the customer. Hey, we're taking an extra $5 out of your bank account. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Let me put it to you like this. You pay a bill every month. Even if you're enrolled in auto pay, you still get a physical or electronic copy of your bill giving you a heads up. Hey, your bill is going to be this much, and on this date, we're going to take it out. And if you don't read it, that's your own responsibility. But they have the responsibility to tell you, hey, your electricity this month is going to be this much. We will take this much out of your account on this day.
Yeah, and when Netflix raised its prices, there were a lot of people who dropped out of Netflix because, they paid $7.95, I think it was, a month, and then they raised it up to like $9.95 or something. And a lot of people were like, no, I don't want to pay the $2 extra. You haven't given me a reason to pay the extra $2.
I mean, to be fair, the library is not that great.
Yeah, plus you cut the DVD service. Because originally, when I was a subscriber of Netflix, when it, during its earlier years, you could actually watch movies on their streaming service and rent movies, and it was the same price.
Mm-hmm.
And then they split that. And a lot of people, when that happened, and when they tried to, I forget what the service was that they were providing, but it was like some service where you could watch the DVDs, separate from Netflix, but like still part of the same company. A lot of people were just like, no, screw you. And, eventually they decided not to do that. And they still have their DVD plan, but, more people now use their streaming service because what they decided to do was release their own original content. And granted, that seems to be what MoviePass is trying to do right now, to try and gain some traction. What I would say is, if you're trying to promote independent films, with your service and all that kind of stuff, you need to be a lot riskier with the decisions that you're making. Like, take Netflix, for example. Look at the movie Okja. That movie, and under any circumstance, I don't think would be released in theaters. A predominantly English language film, granted it did, include a lot of Korean in it, but like a Korean English film that sort of plays out like a kid's movie, but has like a lot of like darker elements and could confuse audiences. We're talking about American audiences here. As much as I, want to have faith in my country with audiences, I worked at a movie theater. There were plenty of parents that were like, why can't I take my kid to see Deadpool? Isn't it a superhero movie? Yeah, there are people like that exist.
Yeah.
Yeah, same thing with Sausage Party. That was another issue.
No,
it's animated, it must be for kids.
No, I definitely knew a mom who was like, yeah, I'm going to take my 7-year-old to see Deadpool. He liked The Dark Knight, and, The Dark Knight is rated R, so, like, I'm sure that Deadpool is fine. It's like...
Hey, The Dark Knight isn't rated R.
But also, like, there are entirely different kinds of parental guidance needed for those two movies.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not just like, oh yeah, Deadpool is gonna be like violent, although it is.
Yeah. So I will continue to talk about MoviePass until they fix their shit, or until the business fails. And then there will probably be a Down the Rabbit Hole episode about it. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of Down the Rabbit Hole. I think it's a great little YouTube channel. And I, if you listen to this channel, please support that channel as well. I think he has a lot of great content. All right, so we have some comments from Ghetto Killmonger. And he says, well, I did abuse MoviePass like a bitch, TBH. So,
to be honest.
To be honest. Okay, sorry. So I will take an L on this because I did use MoviePass literally any day. I even ran a little business at my school where I would use MoviePass to get into movies, and they would pay me for it. It was cheaper than them actually going to the movie, paying for the movie.
Oh no, you used MoviePass to help people watch movies? I'm so shocked and appalled. Step aside while I clutch my pearls. Like, I wouldn't even count that as abuse. You help people go watch movies. It's fine.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't see that as being a problem because, like,
you benefit, the kids benefit, MoviePass benefits, the theaters benefit. Okay.
Yeah, they're still getting the money.
Everyone's still getting the money. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just, it's one of those situations where I'm like, is it actually worth it for you to... I mean, like, I don't think the ticket verification is the worst thing in the world. Like, it's fine, but... everything else has got to go.
Man, I swear, you know how, like, that one theater had that Cinemode thing that was offered? I wouldn't be surprised if, in order to prevent people from abusing the program, they're going to implement something like Cinemode.
Okay.
So, like, you have to, like, lock your phone into a certain setting while you're using MoviePass so that they know you're at the theater. I wouldn't be surprised if that happened.
Oh god, that's fucking Orwellian. Don't put any ideas in anyone's head. That is just wrong. No.
How many people would drop out of it then?
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but also people are like, but I want to play on my phone. You shouldn't be playing on your phone while you're at the movie theater. But
you shouldn't, but everybody has the freedom to do that.
Yeah, but also, like, hey, maybe you stepped out into the lobby because, like, the movie was kind of bullshit, or, like, you had to go to the bathroom, or, like, you had to take a phone call, or you had to get a text from somebody. Because, like, that stuff happens. Like, we live in, the current age where you don't always get phone calls from companies. You don't always get emails from companies. You get like texts and stuff like that. And sometimes you got to respond to that. So, that being said, I am certainly interested in hearing more of what people have to say about MoviePass. So if you're listening to this at a different time, or, for some of the people who are listening to this right now, last comments, we're going to be holding them for, another 3 or so minutes, and then closing the podcast if we don't see anything pop up in the next minute or so. But I just wanted to say thank you, everybody who's listening to this right now. Thank you for supporting our channel. And if you've used MoviePass, thank you for supporting smaller independent films. Hopefully you're not just seeing the biggest releases and, taking a risk here or there and watching something a little bit smaller.
Somebody made a good point. I'm telling my bank to stop payment to you tomorrow. I don't trust you guys to stop charging me simply by canceling. For the record, if you're thinking about canceling your subscription, that's not a bad idea. Especially considering they're not allowing people to cancel their subscription.
Oh, yeah.
And they have no customer service, so if they keep charging you, there's no recourse, and there's no chance of you getting a reimbursement. So if you do cancel, tell your bank, don't accept any payments from this.
It's the #1 search recommendation.
How to cancel MoviePass. Oh my god. That's terrible. Yeah, if you do want to cancel your subscription, definitely tell your bank, don't process any payments with this company.
Yeah.
Do it. That's definitely a very smart idea. I wouldn't have thought of that.
So, from what I've heard a lot of people saying, like, you have to select that you're having, you have to click the cancel button, but you also have to say, like, why you're canceling the subscription.
And of course, they don't offer the option of because you changed your services.
Yeah.
Because you lied to me.
Yeah. There are a lot of great tweets that I've seen, and just go on MoviePass customer service. Some of them are priceless. Some of them are really funny, and some of them are just sad.
Mm-hmm.
So, if you do cancel MoviePass, this is the stipulation that MoviePass will punish you with. You can't join the service again for another 9 months.
Yeah. So definitely be sure that you want to cancel it.
I do think it's funny that they decided that number of months. It's just kind of... I don't know if they did that on purpose, but it is kind of funny.
Somebody has a really terrible complaint that every time they line up a babysitter to go to the movies, MoviePass screwed them over, and that the only movies that are available are at noon and 10 p.m.
Yeah, I remember there was a certain point where it said, like, all the movies had already played their showtimes,
mm-hmm.
and there were no further screenings, and I was like, wait... It's like 10 o'clock in the morning.
And a lot of people are calling out MoviePass not only for not having customer service and not responding to emails, but also not giving any sort of public response, especially to comments online.
Yeah, like that.
Like we're
one
all calling
email,
you out in public and you're hiding like a fucking pussy. What are you doing?
Yeah, that one email that I did a short bit on.
That just made you look worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, quit being a little bitch and fix your company.
Yeah, or else you're going to fail and other companies are going to succeed on your model.
It's not that hard to just tell customers you're going to do a change. Do you agree to these changes before you do a change? That's not hard. That's a good way to do what you need to do as a startup company and not make everybody feel like they're being fucking screwed.
Yeah. So Ghetto Killmonger says, well, when Infinity War came out, I did pay for the IMAX viewing. And afterwards, I had time to kill, so I used MoviePass to watch Let the Sunshine In with my friends.
See?
Yeah, exactly.
See?
And there have been times where it's like, oh, well, I want to watch this movie again. Or, like when I saw Black Panther, I just paid for it because I thought it was going to be sold out. And I didn't want to have to go through all the stuff with MoviePass. I didn't want to run the risk, so I just paid out of pocket in advance to see it. And if I wanted to, I could have seen it again with MoviePass. And there are a couple films. We did
want to. There was just other things that got in the way.
Yeah, and there are a couple films that I've seen twice because I had MoviePass. So I watched it once with MoviePass, and then the other time I paid for it.
I do think it's funny that you saw Infinity Wars and then saw Let the Sunshine In. Those are two very different movies.
Yeah, it's all good.
No, it's all good. It's just that's a funny double feature.
Yeah. I will be really curious to read in the comments below what movies people decided to see as a double feature, paying for one and get MoviePass with the other.
I do have a friend who did Sorry to Bother You in 8th grade as a double feature.
I mean, that kind of makes sense. Those are two very different films, but
also I'm like, so you didn't watch Blind Spotting?
Hey, but they watched.
But you didn't watch Blind Spotting.
They watched Sorry to Bother You, which is a really great movie.
I know, and but
if you're listening to this right now, really please watch it. If you haven't seen it yet, please watch it right now. We mentioned it earlier.
Also Blind Spotting.
Yeah.
But it's great as a good movie. But it's not as good as Sorry to Bother You or Blind Spotting, but also that's a much better double feature.
Yeah.
I don't want to get too much into it, but one thing that makes a good double feature is it's two very different views of Oakland.
Yeah.
You could have an Oakland double screening.
I will say that the double feature that I really want to see, though I don't know if the theater will, it will be in theaters to do this, is I would love to see a double feature of Sorry to Bother You and Black Klansman. That seems like a great double feature.
That's not going to happen. Black Klansman, I don't think, comes out until August 24th.
August 10th.
August 10th? Okay.
Well, in selected theaters.
In select theaters, so it's going to be the weekend after. I think it's Support the Girls that comes out August 24th. Different movie. Very different movie. But I mean, I don't know that they necessarily have that much in common. Especially because Black Klansman isn't out yet, so I don't know.
Yeah. So all that being said, thank you so much for listening. Thank you for supporting our channel. And let us know what you think about MoviePass. I will probably continue to put these out until MoviePass is no more. They change their service, or I finally get fed up with them.
I think I'm gonna give it the rest of this month because I just paid my monthly subscription fee. So I'll at least wait through the month and then decide what I'm gonna do.
I already dropped out of YouTube because I was part of YouTube Red.
Yeah.
And I dropped out because They will not look over my stuff because I have a channel that has the right amount of viewers, the right amount of subscribers, and I should be able to monetize my videos. Granted, it's only like a couple dollars that I'm asking for advertisement for my videos, because I don't want to like beg around people, you know, hey, like support us on Patreon. Like you can totally do that and I can give you the resources too, but like, you know, YouTube is a platform that provides advertisement and smaller people can make money off of it. I don't want to pay them when they're not helping smaller creators out. It's called YouTube, not Us too, yeah.
That's such a dumb phrase, but it's definitely true.
Anyways, getting back to it, let us know what you think about MoviePass in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and we are closing our live stream. Wait.